This is something people would tell me constantly throughout my 4 years at Spelman. Well, 3. This is my 4th year right now. And I wasn't really listening as much, or I would try it for a little bit and then I would quit. You need to be practicing what you want to do, your craft, every single day. Every single day. If you want to be a screenwriter, you better be writing every single day. If you want to be doing public speaking, you got to learn how to public speak, and you got to find places to do that at every single day. Computer science majors, I'm pretty sure they gotta, the ones that are really working hard at it and aren't just skating by, I'm pretty sure they're doing something with computer science, whether that's just like coding or reading up about it every single day. And it takes time. Crafts are not meant to be perfected overnight. You perfect them over weeks, months, years of, for lack of better words, blood, sweat, and tears. And for me at 18, 19, and even 20, that idea of me putting so much energy into something was honestly really daunting, because I just be wanting to have fun. I grew up in a really great home where I didn't have to really do too much. All I had to do was be a good student. And coming into college, I was like, my goal is to be a good student. And I've been a great, amazing student on paper and even off paper as well. But there was something lacking. I was looking at it and I'm like, there's something lacking. And I believe it was a little bit of my drive, or like inside you'd be like, yeah, I want to get this done. I want to do it. But then when it comes time to fill out the application, I was like, do I really want to do it? And I feel like it was biting me in the butt now. I feel like now it's biting me in the butt. It was biting me in the tush a little bit, And this is me being completely transparent. Like, I really do be like, ooh, ouch. Now, people will look at my resume and be like, Daria, what are you talking about? You're being dramatic. But mentally, I do feel like it was wearing and tearing on me a little bit. And finally, I'm getting myself under control and like realizing like, hey, this is reality, Daria, and not everything needs to be taken to such serious degrees. But you need to be practicing your craft every single day. For me, who I'm interested in a lot of things in the entertainment industry, including writing, directing, and storytelling. I had to practice all 3 of those every single day, and I didn't realize how important that was until junior year. And I'm like, oh, when you lack work to show or not enough variety to show, you're like, and that makes you miss out on opportunities, and you're like, oh, I haven't been doing my job not the way I thought I had been. And as a child, because I do feel like at 18, 19, 20, I was still a child. I feel like 21, I'm still a child too, so I'm not even gonna toot my horn that way and call myself an adult yet. But I do feel like before, as a child, you need an adult figure over you to be like, hey, did you do this today? This is mandatory. Because sometimes when you don't have that authoritative figure over you, you're just like, I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. And I believe this is why a lot of times when I'm asking adults, how do you get here? How do you get here? How do you get there? They're looking at me and they're like, it's a process. And they're calling it a process. They're saying it's this process with no specifics to it, because they're like, if you were really in the grind mode, you wouldn't even be asking me. You would have more specific questions like, how can I get my screenplay to from point A to point B? How do I get this film that I have right here in my phone on Vimeo? Is that Vimeo? I believe it's Vimeo, because I'm like, is it Vimeo or is that the app to transfer money? Vimeo. How do I get my short documentary or short film on Vimeo to be distributed? And that's what I'm learning now. I'm like, oh, that's why they kept telling me it's a process. Because what are you showing them that they can even help you get from your starting point, which is a finished product, and improving that product enough where now you can have an award under that product. And I'm like, oh my goodness, wow, reality. Reality just like hits you and you're like, oh, okay, this is what I have to work on instead now. yeah, so I was like at 21, and I just turned 21 July 2nd. It's only like what, August 5th now, and I'm already having it's already a lot for me mentally. But what I realized is, okay, Daria, what are 3 things that you want to accomplish weekly? And I'm like, uploading to YouTube, because I love YouTube. I love talking to everyone on YouTube, and I believe it is a space for me to grow, not just my content, but myself as a person. So that's why I stick to YouTube. And then I want to write every single day. Even if the writing is not being immediately uploaded, I have to write every single day, and that's what I've been practicing, so I'm very proud. And then also, I need to be creating films at least once a month. And I'm like, storytelling at least once a month. I'm like, okay, that's what I need to get to. And yeah, and now that I know what I need to do, it's now just a matter of doing it. But that's where the self-discipline comes in. Without the self-discipline, you are going to be stuck. There are days when I feel very much unmotivated, uninspired. I just really don't want to do nothing. But I'm like, with that self-discipline, just like it took me, like once you train yourself on like little things, like I would say, if you're not someone who flosses every single day, I actually floss every single day, and I've been doing it now for a few years. But before, I had to actually train myself to floss every single day, and it was probably something like the time it took me to discipline myself in flossing was probably like 2 to 3 weeks of me every night being like, but now it's automatic and I get it done. And although it sucks sometimes because I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this, it's gonna get done because I've disciplined myself to do it. Right here, right now, we're starting the 2 to 3 weeks of self-discipline. And it's gonna suck some days, and you're not gonna want to do it, but it's a must. It's a must have to. It's a must have to. You have to. It's a must. Also, your community is everything. Be in a community, whether it's an online community, an in-person community, which may be a little bit hard, but you could find in yourself an online community, whether that's looking through LinkedIn groups or checking out Discords, because I'm on a couple of Discord groups right now, geared towards film and entertainment or whatever you are specifically focusing in. And interact with those people. Community builds purpose. And once you have a purpose, it makes things a little bit easier on you. I was reading this one book, and it was talking about a lot of people kind of develop depression over years because they lack a sense of community, and they lack that sense of purpose that comes with a really well-rounded community as well. So seek a community, find a purpose within that community, and then strive that way. And stop being sensitive. I had to stop myself from being sensitive. I used to be a crybaby, and I would cry constantly, and it was like, Daria, you're just crying every single day of your life, and it's just like over little things, and it's like, for what? Now I've cut the sensitivity out of my life. I mean, I'm still sensitive. Like I'm an empath. I still have emotions. I'm still a little baby, whatever. But when I'm talking to people in this industry, and these women and men, or just human beings in general, they're 30 plus years older than me, they get snappy. And they be like, that's not what I wanted from you. I wanted you to do this instead. I have to step away from myself, take a breather, and be like, yes ma'am, yes sir, oh sorry, so-and-so, let me go ahead and get this done. And it's always a learning. It's a way for me to learn. I take everything as kind of like just like a learning lesson, really. And once you look at things as a learning lesson, it starts to hurt less, and you're like, okay, how can I improve? And I'm also just grateful to be as young as I am in big spaces for adults, because a lot of these people started 26, 27, 28, which is still young, but they started 5 years, 6 years before me, whereas I'm starting 20, now I'm 21. I'll be past them once I hit their age. And that in itself is something that continues to push me. So soak in as much as you can. Be in positive environments where other people are have self-discipline, or they're disciplining themselves. You yourself gain some self-discipline. Learn about purpose. And just do it. Just do it even when you're feeling unmotivated, and when you're feeling tired and over it, just do it. And it's all going to be worth it in the end. And not even in the end. It's going to be worth it during. Because there's going to be moments where you're like, oh, thank goodness I have this film, or I have this project that I've already got, so I can go ahead and show it. And here's proof that I can get it done. You're going to feel so relieved. yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. Whew, I'm happy I did this video. So week one of pushing out a video every week is done now. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'll be continuing to upload more, just different topics that I'm feeling really inspired about. And I hope you guys continue to watch and like and comment and subscribe. Subscribe. Bye, guys.